Okay, welcome tonight. We have such a big crowd tonight. Hope you can all find seats. Call our meeting to order, and we'll have a roll call by our city clerk, Marcy Killian.
The record will reflect that all members are present with the exception of Councilwoman Rigby.
Okay, the next thing we're going to have a Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation by Loretta Gherkin, President of the Vista Golden K Kiwanis. Welcome.
Yes, if you would please stand and face the flag, put your hand over your heart and repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing.
When we give ourselves something to look forward to, no matter how great or small the event, we are giving ourselves the gift of hope. And where there's hope built into tomorrow, there are all kinds of possibilities for overcoming whatever obstacle we face today. O Lord, in whom is our hope, remove far from us, we pray thee, empty hopes and overconfidence. Make our hearts so right with thy most holy and loving heart, that hoping in thee we may do good until that day when faith and hope shall be abolished by sight and possession, and love shall be in all. Now bless the public servants in the government of Vista, that they may do their work in a spirit of wisdom, charity, and justice. Amen.
Thank you. In accordance with the Brown Act, I'd like to announce that as a result of convening simultaneous meetings, the members of the Buena Sanitation District will receive compensation of $147.75 for the district meeting pursuant to Buena Sanitation District Ordinance 2006-1. And the next thing on our agenda is the approval of the agenda by our City Manager, Patrick Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor. There's one change to the agenda. That is the public hearing that was scheduled for this evening, PH1, which is the appeal of the Planning Commission decision denying PC 8-237, which is the Chevron on South Melrose, will be continued at our next regular scheduled meeting, which is on March 12th.
And we had no closed session, so I don't need a report from the attorney. And the next thing on our agenda is our consent calendar, in which those are items C1 through C8, C1 through C8. All those items will be enacted in one motion unless an item is removed from the calendar by any member of the public or by our City Council. And we have C7 and C8 are the ones that are asked to be removed. So, and also C5. So C5, C1, C5, C7, and C8 are being removed. I would entertain a motion for the balance of the consent calendar.
I move to approve the consent calendar.
I can second that.
Okay. Please cast your votes. Okay, that motion passes unanimously. So then the first item we'll go to will be item C5, policy 700-08, sale of city-owned surplus real property. Would you like a report?
Yeah, I just had a question. I just kind of want to get it for the record. I think the city manager and I spoke about this. I just wanted clarification that the city manager does not have the ability to make the decision to sell properties, rather just to accept offers or how they will be sold.
That's correct, Councilman. The decision to sell any property rests with the City Council, and the City Council, under this policy, can also direct the manner in which that sale might take place. Under the previous policy, it could only be done through an auction. This policy creates the alternative of a listed sale, and the Council could specify or could leave it in the City Manager's discretion at the time you make a decision whether or not to sell a particular piece of property.
Okay. Unless anybody else has questions on that, I'll make a motion to approve C5, the resolution approving the amendment to Council Policy number 700-08.
I'll second that.
Okay. Then motion and second. So we're ready to cast our votes. Please cast your vote. That motion passes unanimously with Councilmember Rigby absent. The next item that was asked to be pulled was item C7, and that is a loan agreement for approved enforceable obligations. And we have one speaker. Would you like a report, or you want to hear the speaker first? Everybody?
Just hear the speaker.
Is the speaker? Okay, well, here's hear the speaker. Okay, the speaker is Chuck Rabel.
It's almost spring. Welcome. Thank you, Mayor, City Council. Chuck Rabel here. You know who I used to be and who I am, I think.
Still are.
And the C7 loan agreement for approved enforceable obligations. The way I read this, looking back to, where the hell is it? At any rate, there is no amount of money. It's whatever the staff is going to tell you that's what's needed. It's kind of tough to have a loan not knowing how much it is. And I would suggest that you either table this or tell staff to bring it back when there's a certain amount of money to it. Otherwise, you're writing a blank check.
And Mayor, Mr. Meyer can answer that.
The action tonight establishes the framework for the loan. There is no dollar amount, and before a dollar amount, before a loan is actually created, that will be brought back to the City Council.
Thank you. And the Oversight Committee gets to see it first, or City Council sees it first?
The successor agency would see it first.
The city would see it first?
No, the successor, successor agency, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Let there be no blank checks, thank you.
There never is. Okay, so you need any questions here?
No, I'll make a motion to approve this item.
Okay, I have a second?
If I can second it?
Okay. Please cast your votes. Okay, that motion passes unanimously with Councilmember Rigby absent. Then the next thing on our agenda will be item C8. So there actually is no speaker on C8. It was an accident, so we still need to approve it.
I'll make a motion to approve C8.
I'll second it.
Okay. Please cast your votes. And again, that motion passes unanimously with Councilmember Rigby absent. So now we're going to go to item D1. We have a report on that.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. I'm John Meyer, the Housing and Redevelopment Director. With me tonight is Jeff Sinner, our Housing and Redevelopment Manager. In early 2011, the Community Development Commission sold 20 parcels to the City of Vista. The Commission property was valued at $27.9 million. In exchange, the City forgave $15.9 million owed by the Commission and took a promissory note worth $11.8 million and $200,000 in cash deposit. This transaction was designed to achieve a common interest between the City and the Commission to carry out redevelopment activities in light of the pending dissolution. After AB 26 was adopted in June of 2011, a reversal of this transaction would have resulted in the loss of the city loans and the liquidation of the properties. Approved in June of 2012, AB 1484 now allows the successor agency to pay back city loans and provides for the former redevelopment property to be sold for limited redevelopment purposes with the approval of a long-range property management plan. As detailed in the staff report, the successor agency, as part of the dissolution process, must receive a finding of completion from the Department of Finance. There are 3 components to this process, and we have received approval for the first two, and the third is under review. The provisions of this unwind agreement will not go into effect until we have received the finding of completion. In accordance with AB 1484, this action will require the approval of the Oversight Board and the review and approval of the State Department of Finance. That concludes staff's presentation.
Okay, with that, I'm going to open the public hearing on public, no, this is D1. Got the note in the wrong place. Okay, so would you like to hear a speaker first, or do you want questions? Sure. Okay, Chuck Rabel.
Good evening again. What I don't understand is page 22, 32, where it acknowledges the unwind dates, but has no dates, other than saying the dates are going to be identical. This coupled with your C5, the policy to sell, can I assume that we're going to see available signs like we see all over the city and in the business park, now that we're going to sell assets?
What was the question again?
I think the question was if we're going to be selling property, are all the properties going to go on the market immediately? And the answer would be no. We're going to have
No question, but there are properties that you have no plans for that should be on the market.
And those properties may be on the market, but we'll be coming back to the City Council or successor agency at a future date with a master plan on how to deal with those properties going forward in the future.
Okay. It's just that it seems odd to me that with C5, I know it's not what I should be talking about, should have been done a year ago when the state decided to put redevelopment away. And it's a year late. I have no problem. Question was, page 22, what's the unwind date and what's the addendum effective date?
I think Mr. Meyer can answer that question.
After the board takes action, that would be today's date.
Oh, well, thank you. That'll work for me. Thank you very much.
Okay, it's very complicated. I mean, it's all very complicated, which is...
I realize that, and I realize that the state's making up rules as they go along.
Right.
And it's not Chapter 11, but it's dissolution, whatever that might mean.
Right.
On a given day. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, with that, are there any questions down here? Okay, if I have no questions, this is a discussion. We would close a public hearing, and it's not a public hearing? No, it's right, it's not a public hearing. The next thing was a public hearing. Never mind. Okay, so I'm not going to close the public hearing. With that, we need a recommendation.
Well, Mayor, before recommendation goes forward, I'd like to have Mr. Meyer clarify something to his comment on page 22.
That wasn't the correct answer. Once we receive our certificate of completion, then we will enter into the unwind agreement.
Okay.
And we don't have a date certain yet for that.
Okay, did you get that, Chuck? Different answer.
Sounds like the motion's a blank check.
Okay. So then I would like a motion for a recommendation, if I could get one. Anybody? Oh, John, okay. Councilmember Aguilera.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'll make a motion to approve the recommendation approving the unwind agreement for 2011 real property and adopting the successor agency resolution approving an unwind agreement for 2011 real property transaction with the City of Vista.
A second?
I'll second that.
Okay. And please cast your votes. Motion passes unanimously with Councilmember Rigby absent tonight. Okay, so now I can say something about the public hearing? Okay. We're going to open the public hearing on public hearing number 1 and continue this item to March the 12th. Do I need motions and things to do that? Darryl, do I need? I can just announce it? Okay, so it's been posted that way, so now we'll close the public hearing.
It's
No.
never opened.
I'm not closing it, I'm continuing it to March the 12th. This is very confusing tonight. I'm sorry about that. All right, the next thing on our agenda, now I can do, is our oral communications. And the first one is Renee Glassball.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council members. I've sent you all a letter, so I'll read it, please. Good evening, Mayor and City Council members and staff. A few years ago, beautiful Amber Dubois, a student at Escondido High School, was stabbed by a drug killer, as was a few years ago beautiful Chelsea King, a student by the same James Gardner II, who was once lived in a Vista Alcohol Treatment Center for a few days to help him with his problems, but the demons lived in his soul. So I'm asking you kindly, Vista Mayor and City Council members, to keep St. Patrick's Festival and Strawberry Festival what it should be. Strawberries. Lots and lots of strawberries, please. And also St. Patrick's Day Festival, alcohol-free, and barbecue, alcohol-free for healthy living and wellness. Please. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Glatzbaugh.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Chuck Rabel.
Just want to remind everyone, the Boys and Girls Club celebrating their 50th birthday on the 26th of March. Also, we had a workshop recently about how is the city going to get more revenue. And lo and behold, in the last week or so, the Xeriscape plantings out front got replaced with roses, which requires both maintenance and water. We also talked about a study being done for how do we pay for the sewer bills. And the study went forward without my recommendation that part of it needs to be usage. Anyway, it seems to me, driving past City Hall, that maybe you don't need more revenue, and maybe we can do away with those electronic billboards. Thank you.
Our next speaker is J.C. Do you want to comment on the roses?
Sure, I'd be happy to. The plant material that was installed, we had actually replaced most of it already once, and we have a very high water table in the area, and the roots were becoming saturated and weren't able to grow properly. And so we found a plant in these roses that are out there that can take that wet clay soil and absorb it and still maintain a nice presence. So that's why a lot of the plant material was replaced out.
Well, if I can, when this City Hall was built, according to Briggs Tree Nursery, they didn't even have a chance to bid on the landscape. Did the roses come from Vista?
I'm not aware of where the roses came from, but we can certainly find out.
All right, well, just let's keep the money here. Thank you.
J.C. Wynn, we already approved your. Okay.
Mayor and council, thanks for having me. Again, I wore my official hat. Santa's going to throw the Easter egg hunt with the Easter Bunny again this year. And I just like to make sure if we get okay that we can not get these signs taken down during the month of March while they're up. So they'll have the right dates and everything on them, but I just wanted to make sure, because last time some pit went around and grabbed a bunch of them. And I don't know if we send a memo out or whatever we do, or just wave a wand, but I'd like to thank you guys for consenting, and I'd like to point out that our community is really getting together, and even though there seems like strife every now and again, but I think all in all, this is a pretty good, wholesome community that pulls together when needed, and especially when kids are involved. So I was hoping maybe I can get with Bill and for some of our raffles, if they might have a couple extra wave water tickets or a moonlight ticket. We're going to have a raffle to help pay a little bit of this too. And once again, I just want to thank you and thank the city and all the youth groups that are coming together, church groups, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts that are going to throw another quality event for our kids. And just right on, thank you.
You don't wear your Santa suit, do you, for Easter?
No, that's away. It's in the dry cleaners till December.
Just checking.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. I have a quick question.
Councilmember Aguilera.
Yeah, I have a quick question for the city manager. Would the Easter egg hunt be something that we would promote on the digital signs if that was to pass?
Yeah, where it currently stands now, we obviously haven't brought, formal policy or procedures to you, but yeah, that is something that's open to the entire community free of charge, and so that would be something that we would recommend putting on there.
Okay, thank you.
I have another something to say.
I just want to make one more comment, and thank you for Ms. Cliff. Mary Lou gave us permission to put our banner sign up on the Civic Center so most kids, people can see that we're having it. So thank you, Mary.
Great, thanks. Okay. With that, we're down to remarks, so we'll start with Dave.
Okay, thank you.
Wait, Deputy Mayor Coles.
Oh, thank you. Only one thing I want to mention is last Thursday, I took my family members to see Life is But a Dream at the Avo, and it was one of the most phenomenal musical performances that we've had here for a long time. I enjoyed it. I enjoy all the Avo productions so far this year, and I look forward to more to come.
Did you sing along?
You couldn't help but sing along, at least in your head.
In the paper, it said that everybody wanted to sing along with that.
It was my generation, so that made a difference. Thank you.
Councilmember Campbell.
Nothing this evening.
Okay. Councilmember Aguilera.
Yeah, a couple announcements. One is this Friday is opening day for Vista American Little League, 50 years for them as well. And I understand the mayor will be there to throw out the first pitch.
Yeah, I hope I do better this year than I did last year.
Hopefully she won't hurt anybody.
Hopefully not.
But I also wanted to make another announcement. In addition to that, everybody's invited to that. And anybody that's been involved with Vista American in the past, we'd love to have you show up. And please email the president, let her know that you will be attending, and she will recognize you. So anybody out there that played, umpired, coach, board member with Vista American, you're all welcome, and please let us know you're coming. And then the second thing is, I believe the Lions is having their pageant this month. It is March 9th, so they're having their beauty pageant, or Miss Vista pageant. What is it? Miss Pride of Vista.
Miss Pride of Vista, right.
I know. I forget that all the time. Miss Pride of Vista, March 9th, so 6 o'clock? 6 o'clock start time at Guahomie. Okay, so that's it.
Also, the North County Transit District is celebrating 5 years of the Sprinter on March the 9th, I believe, at 2 in the afternoon. So, and it's at the San Marcos station. So I was thinking I might just take the Sprinter from Vista over to San Marcos. And
well, I think we start at like 8:30 if you'd like to.
No, that's the workshop. I'm not going to. I'm going just for the celebration of the 5 years.
That's right.
Yeah. So anyway, okay. I have a couple of announcements here. The Senior Center, the Gloria McClellan Senior Center has a variety of volunteer opportunities. They need positions for drivers for the Out and About program, staffing the lunch desk counter, golf cart drivers, computer lab assistants. They're volunteer team consists of a vibrant and caring group of individuals from a variety of cultures and ages, ranging from 18 to 99 years old. So for more information, call 760-639-6199, or call the city, and we can get you to them. The other thing, the fire department has a volunteer program that's recruiting residents to help with day-to-day administrative services as well as emergency incident support. The program is designed to recruit and train persons aged 50 and older to support the department's operations. An example of their volunteer responsibilities include picking up and delivering supplies and mail between the fire stations, fire prevention education, assisting with smoke alarm program, providing support such as hydration and food to firefighters at fires and other extended emergency incidents, and conducting fire station tours. And so there's applications on the city's website for those, if you know anybody that would be interested in volunteering for that. And then one other thing, when you came in, you probably noticed the New Dimensions Civic Gallery, and those are works by artists from throughout the region that were submitted for this juried exhibition and were judged for entry by Susan M. Anderson, formerly the curator of Laguna Art Museum. And they had more than 260 entries, and 41 were selected for the exhibition, and they'll be on display right outside through the month of March. So that is those announcements. And I had just a couple of things here from Sandag that I thought was kind of interesting, that they changed they anticipate a 5.5% growth rate with the economy. They did forecast 4.5%, but they've changed it to 5.5% because the economy is doing a little better. But they think it'll take a year and a half to 2 years to get back to our pre-recession rates. So I thought that was kind of an interesting thing. And so that's my announcements, and we'll see if the city manager has some announcements tonight.
There's nothing for me tonight.
Nothing? How about our attorney?
And the city attorney also has nothing this evening.
Nothing?
Thank you, Mayor.
Does the city clerk have anything? Nothing. Okay, then we're going to adjourn at 6:01. We are adjourned.